Hello, this is Crystal Racing here with the Portuguese Grand Prix race report. Lewis Hamilton is your winner, 10 out of 10. Got past Bottas, got past Verstappen after the start, drove away into the front, won the race by half a minute. Absolute pure domination. Yes, the Mercedes was very quick today, but frankly, there's not much else to say. Brilliant performance, 10 out of 10. Driver of the day, well done Lewis. Second place, Max Verstappen, 8.5 out of 10. Bottled a chance to get pole yesterday. Did well to get end up finishing second, considering the Red Bull is slower, but 8.5 out of 10 because he bowled pole and he just simply couldn't keep up with Lewis, and he only was just ahead of Bottas and Perez towards the end, so that was probably quite fairly not the greatest performance, but of course. Third place, Bottas, 8 out of 10, got pole yesterday, but of course, predictably, he dropped back. Couldn't keep up with Hamilton, so it's 8 out of 10 for me. Perez also gets 8 out of 10, quite good performance if you ask me. Did a very good job to hang on to those mediums for over 50 laps, but of course when Lewis came closing in, the inevitable occurred, and frankly when he went and pitted he was always going to finish fourth, so not much else to say. Fifth place, Lando Norris, 9.5 out of 10. Yet again another outstanding drive by the 21-year-old. Charles Leclerc, 9 out of 10. Once again, another great drive for Ferrari, although he was out-qualified for the first time by Carlos Sainz. 7th, Esteban Ocon, 9 out of 10. An outstanding qualifying yesterday, qualifying 6th. Couldn't quite keep up the pace of the race today, but I'll give him 9 out of 10 because he is on top of a lot. He has been dominating Alonso so far. I didn't predict that happening at all. 8th place, Fernando Alonso, 8 out of 10, poor qualifying down in P13, but made up places in the race. His tyres worked well, so I'll give him 8 out of 10, well done Fernando, much better drive today. 9th place, Daniel Ricciardo, 7 out of 10, out in Q1, dreadful qualifying, but predictably made up places in the race. Did show a lot of good pace towards the end, but frankly when you qualify that far behind Lando you're always going to be in trouble, and frankly 7 out of 10 is all you deserve. 10th place, Pierre Gasly, 7.5 out of 10. The pace of the AlphaTauri just wasn't there this weekend. He actually dropped out of the points before, of course Carlos Sainz was struggling late on, but to get a point considering how much AlphaTauri have lost ground is quite a good result. 11th place, Carlos Sainz, 7 out of 10. Qualified 5th yesterday, beating Leclerc for the first time in qualifying, but in the race he just couldn't make the tyres last, and frankly it was just a bang average performance. 12th place, Antonio Giovinazzi, 9 out of 10. Survived the first lap incident with Kimi. And yeah, kept ahead of the Aston Martin, Tsunoda and everyone else. So yeah, well done Antonio, and out-qualified Kimi by over half a second. Great job. 13th place, Sebastian Vettel, 6 out of 10. Got into Q3 for the first time in about half a year or whatever it was. 6 out of 10. But in the race he couldn't keep it up, just struggled with tyres and all that. So I suppose, well, there's not much else to say. 14th place, Lance Stroll, 5 out of 10. Dreadful qualifying, got knocked out in Q1. His race pace was okay, but it was not impressive, so that's all I can say. 15th place, Yuki Tsunoda, 5 out of 10. Out-qualified heavily by Gasly. Out-qualified heavily by Gasly as well. Another learning weekend for the young Japanese. He'll come on. He'll come into he'll hit his stride soon up late at some point, but at the moment he's not going to do so. 16th place, George Russell, 8 out of 10. Came within half a tenth of a second of getting into Q3 yesterday. Unsurprisingly though, the Williams fell back in the race, and frankly there wasn't much Russell could do about it, but nonetheless another impressive outing by Mr. Saturday, who is so consistent. still has only been out-qualified once in his career. Of course, that was that 2020 Sakhir last year, in that, of course, that race for Mercedes. 17th place, Mick Schumacher, 8.5 out of 10. Once again, dominating Mazepin, and he overtook Latifi for 17th in what was a very impressive performance. I've got to say, yes, he was forced to back off for lap calls, but then, of course, as the lap calls made their way through, he closed right back up on the TV and overtook him. Very well done, Mick. 18th place, Nicholas Latifi, 5 out of 10. Really below average qualifying. And, of course, he got overtook by Mick Schumacher, which is really alarming, to be honest. Not much else to say. 19th place, Nikita Mazepin, 4 out of 10, finished almost a minute behind Mick Schumacher. No pace at all, just really slow. I know he's learning, but there's nothing else to say. And of course, the reject of the day and the only retiree of the race, Kimi Raikkonen, hit Giovinazzi on lap 1. Actually made a good start, but then he got overtook by Giovinazzi, and then for some reason, going down the straight, he ran into the back of him in what was such a careless mistake. I can only give Kimi 3 out of 10, just very, very poor error, I'm afraid. And that is it for my Portuguese Grand Prix review, because that was not an interesting race, I'm afraid. So, if you like what and want to comment, do what you want, and I'll see you again for the next Grand Prix.